Water, sanitation, hygiene touches on all aspects of family life. Poor hygiene and sanitation is the cause of major diseases like diarrhea and cholera. The World Health Organization says about 2 million people die every year due to diarrheal diseases. Most of them are children under 5 years of age. Joining us for more on the subject is Jess Arnett, Executive Director of the Clear Water Initiative. Jess, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So clearly, water, sanitation, and hygiene are so basic for everyone around the world, but yet so many people do not have access to it. What are your observations in your work that you do?
So we know that water, sanitation, and health is a major driver for health. And for children, it's a major driver for them in getting a good education. And so we work with rural communities in northern Uganda, and we see the impact every day of the way that water and sanitation impacts their lives. Water is not just something that you drink, it's something that you use for bathing, for cooking, for cleaning. And a lot of what we see is not just traditional waterborne diseases that you might get from drinking water, but also skin diseases. It impacts asthma, it impacts all kinds of your daily life and your daily health.
Definitely impacts all kinds of our lives in general. Now, when you look at the communities that you work, where you work, do you see any type of specific needs? I know that you've been building wells. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that and the type of needs that you are able to meet.
So in rural Uganda, we know that 1 in 2 people doesn't have access to basic sanitation and 1 in 3 doesn't have access to clean water. And so we work with kind of remote rural villages and we partner with them for about 2 years. So we build a well, but then we stay involved with the community to help them make sure that that well is sustainable. And it's a lot of work to partner with the community to help them build up the infrastructure to take care of the well, mm-hmm. and to make sure that when we exit the village, the well will not fall into disrepair, that they'll have the skills and the tools to be able to repair it and keep it functioning.
So when it comes to hygiene, though, how do you approach it? Because sometimes it's not just about building a well. It's right. The whole system. It's the way people live. It's the poverty in many cases. So how do we approach this?
One of the single most impactful things that a community can do is hand washing. Hand washing is often called the vaccine that's without medicine. It's something that we work with the communities to do. And if communities start washing their hands, if there's regular hand washing with children and with mothers, you can dramatically reduce the incidence of diarrhea and you can increase the quality of life for everyone in the community.
So looking at the Clear Water Initiative, tell us about what you've been able to do so far. I know you've built some wells, as I mentioned earlier. Tell us about that.
So we work with about 40 communities that represent about 12,000 people. And what we do in these communities, we build a well and we partner with the village. We're also running microfinance programs in some of our villages, and we're about to start working in schools next year. And what we do is we try to respond to what the community needs. So when we work with a village, we do an assessment and we talk to the community and ask them what they're looking for, and then we partner to try to help resolve their needs. We have a group of incredibly talented local staff. They're the ones out there leading the charge, and they're the ones trying to solve the problems in their own communities. And so they look at what the issues are and they come up with great solutions that we try to implement.
And what type of impact have you seen so far, or do you hope to see?
So we've already seen impacts in the communities we work in. You know, we work in the areas that Joseph Kony and the Lord's Resistance Army caused a lot of problems in, and people returned back to their homes after the end of the conflict in northern Uganda. And so some of the communities we work in, when they were gone for about a decade, their local water was destroyed. Their well was destroyed, or the stream they were using wasn't tended. And so we've seen communities essentially come back to life. One of the communities we work in, people were starting to return home, but there was no water. Mm-hmm. And what we saw is after we put the well in, the community has more than doubled. And the community chief told me that they view the well as their child because they see it as the future of the community.
Okay, Ms. Arnett, thank you so much for joining us. That was great. And Jess Arnett is Executive Director of the Clear Water Initiative.